How's it going, guys? Anton here, and welcome to my 2017 NBA mock draft. This mock draft will only be featuring the lottery, so once we get to the Heat, we'll stop there. Let's get on with the video. With the first pick in the 2017 NBA draft, the Philadelphia 76ers select Markelle Fultz out of Washington. This was a great trade for the 76ers to get the first pick, as now they will have a big three for the future in Markelle Fultz, Ben Simmons, and Joel Embiid, plus Dario Saric, and possibly even a good shooting guard if they can pick one up this offseason. That lineup sounds threatening and will definitely be a championship contender in the next 4 years. I believe this is the only pick where everyone is absolutely certain who is going to be taken at this pick. So yeah, I'm going with Markelle Fultz to the 76ers, as is everybody. With the second pick in the 2017 NBA draft, the Los Angeles Lakers select Lonzo Ball out of UCLA. I believe even though there has been all this hype about Josh Jackson and De'Aaron Fox, I still think that the Lakers will select Lonzo Ball, especially after they traded away D'Angelo Russell to the Nets. That move was to clear up cap space so they could sign Paul George next offseason, and trading away D'Angelo means that they need a new point guard, which will be Lonzo Ball. I don't think the Lakers will take De'Aaron Fox, even though I think he could have a better career than Lonzo. I just don't see it happening, as Lonzo is hometown, and it's sort of the story of Derrick Rose and LeBron James. With the second pick, Lonzo Ball to the Lakers. With the third pick in the 2017 NBA draft, the Boston Celtics select Jason Tatum out of Duke. People were really questioning Danny Ainge after the trade with the Sixers. I am too, as I believe this trade could decide whether Danny Ainge is a good GM or not. He completely robbed the Nets a few years ago, but this move could ruin everything. Right here, I think the best option is Josh Jackson, but I don't see that happening, as he has clearly stated he does not want to go to Boston. He says it would be the worst move for his career, and I agree with him. He'd be stuck behind Jay Crowder and Jaylen Brown. Although I think Jaylen Brown has potential and could also be moved to shooting guard, I just think that Josh Jackson would be the wrong option, and the Celtics need to win now, and Jason Tatum is the most NBA ready player in this draft class. With the fourth pick in the 2017 NBA draft, the Phoenix Suns will select Josh Jackson out of Kansas. The Suns are mostly in need of a center, but unfortunately, that's just not available within the first 10 picks of this draft. But the second position they need is obviously small forward. And next year, we could be seeing a starting lineup of Eric Bledsoe, Devin Booker, Josh Jackson, Marquise Chris, and probably Alex Len still, unless they could sign either Nerlens Noel or Dwayne Dedmon. Although those two signings are very unlikely, I would still like to see that, as it would be great for Phoenix, and that could possibly make them a playoff team, or at least a 9 to 10 seed next year. Josh Jackson brings defense, and hopefully the Suns can develop his shooting stroke. With the fifth pick, and I believe this is a match made in heaven, the Sacramento Kings select De'Aaron Fox out of Kentucky. De'Aaron Fox is basically John Wall 2.0. Athletic, quick, agile, he's good at both ends on the court, he's long, 6'4", and the Kings need a point guard. I think De'Aaron will work well alongside Buddy Hield and the front court of Willie Cauley-Stein and Skal Labissière. I think we'll finally see some action in Sacramento. I'm not saying this team is anywhere near playoffs, but they could be pretty soon. With the sixth pick in the 2017 NBA draft, the Orlando Magic select. And this was a tough one, but I believe out of the two options, which are Lauri Markkanen and Jonathan Isaac, the Orlando Magic will select Markkanen. The Magic are lacking shooting. Mario Hezonja has not lived up to the hype with the fifth pick from 2 years ago, I believe. Fournier can shoot to some extent, but they have no one else. I think Lauri Markkanen would really improve the Magic. Still nowhere near playoffs, but they could be an exciting team to watch next season. With the 7th pick in the 2017 NBA Draft, the Minnesota Timberwolves select Jonathan Isaac out of Florida State. Standing at 6'10", even though he's a small forward, I believe Jonathan Isaac can be used as a stretch 4 for the Timberwolves. And fortunately, that is the one position they are missing. Next year we could be seeing a starting lineup of Ricky Rubio, Zach LaVine, Andrew Wiggins, Jonathan Isaac, and Karl Anthony Towns. And that would definitely be an exciting team to watch, especially with them growing. We saw some exciting stuff from Isaac out of college, but will he live up to it in the NBA? We'll just have to wait and see, but I think Minnesota is the perfect match for him. With the 8th pick in the 2017 NBA Draft, the New York Knicks select their point guard for the future in Dennis Smith Jr. out of North Carolina State. He's been known as the biggest wild card for the draft. He could be the best player in the draft. It's going to be interesting to see him grow, especially in New York, or hopefully New York. I have a strong feeling that Derrick Rose is leaving in the offseason, and there have been recent trade rumors around Kristaps Porzingis, and Carmelo Anthony just seems like he wants to leave. I think Dennis Smith, if all those pieces have left next year, will start the new era for New York basketball. With the 9th pick in the 2017 NBA Draft, the Dallas Mavericks select the French phenom in Frank Ntilikina out of France. He is the mystery man in this draft, and it was about a 50-50 with Dennis Smith if you were to ask me 2 weeks ago, but I've had my eyes locked on Dennis Smith for the 8th pick for a while now. Ntilikina has the defense, but because he played in France, not many people know about his game. And it says here that through 59 games, he averaged 5.7 points per game, 2.2 rebounds per game, and 1.7 assists per game. And you may be thinking, that is terrible. But you have to keep in mind that he was playing with grown men in France. I think with the retirement of Dirk Nowitzki coming up in the next couple of years, he will help lead the new era for Dallas basketball. If the Mavs could re-sign Nerlens Noel, I think these two will be dominating on the defensive end for years to come. With the 10th pick in the 2017 NBA Draft, the Sacramento Kings. And this was a strange one, but I think they're going to select Malik Monk. Firstly, I think the reason they're going to select him is because you can't let a talent like that pass up, especially when the rest of the draft does not live up to that. Secondly, he was teammates with potential pick De'Aaron Fox. These two play great together, and Malik Monk is a spot-up three-point shooter, which is the one downside of this pick, because they already have a three-point shooting guard in Buddy Hield. All of the organization's trust has gone into Buddy Hield, and I think he's going to be the one to stay while Malik Monk, or maybe even just the pick, gets traded. But I can't see Malik Monk going any lower than the 10th pick. With the 11th pick, and this is where it starts to get a bit shaky, but the Charlotte Hornets select Luke Kennard out of Duke. We've seen him be a great shooter. As we can see, 19.5 points per game, 5.1 rebounds, 2.5 assists. Those are great stats in college, and probably better stats in the NBA, as you're playing against grown men. If he could put up even half of that, I'd be impressed. We've got a new look Charlotte Hornets team, as we've got Kemba Walker running the point, throwing lobs to Dwight Howard in its center. I think we could see a slight rejuvenation of Howard's career this year, with the energy that Kemba brings, and players like Michael Kidd-Gilchrist and Nicholas Batum they're supporting, along with the help from Frank Kaminsky and Cody Zeller. We could see some great things and potentially even playoff basketball from the Charlotte Hornets next year. All they really need is a shooter, and I think Luke Kennard can bring that to this team. With the 12th pick in the 2017 NBA Draft, the Detroit Pistons select Donovan Mitchell out of Louisville. I've seen this guy come up for the Pistons on multiple mock drafts now, which is the main reason why I'm picking him here, as I don't know that much about him, but I've heard that he is wanted by Stan Van Gundy, and possibly if Kentavious Caldwell-Pope leaves next year, they do not have a good backup shooting guard. I love KCP's game, and I think him showing the way to Donovan Mitchell will be exciting for this Pistons team. Although I do think the position they need the most is power forward, I think the only other option is John Collins, but I have him going to the 13th pick with the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets already have a passing big man in Nikola Jokic, and they have three-point shooters around them in Jamal Murray, Gary Harris, and Emmanuel Mudiay can lead the point guard position, but to fill the role at power forward, I think John Collins is the right pick for this Denver Nuggets team. But for my Miami Heat, with the 14th pick in the NBA draft, I think we will select Harry Giles. Now, I know I was talking about Dennis Smith being the wild card in the draft, but Harry Giles is a whole nother level. He tore his ACL twice, which drastically affected his draft stock. He used to be top 5, if not number 1 prospect for this draft class. Then the injuries happened, and ever since he hasn't looked the same, only putting up 4 and 4 for points and rebounds. But I still think he has potential as long as he is not overused in the first year. And if the Heat could sign Blake Griffin this offseason, I think that could work out well to show Harry Giles the way. He sort of reminds me of Thon Maker, not in playing style, but a similar situation in the draft last year. A possible lottery pick, but if he's taken too high, people can criticize, as we just don't know what he's going to turn out to be. So this is what my draft prediction looks like. Make sure you leave a like on the video, guys. Subscribe for more content like this. See you next episode.